question for Juliet. At a couple of these Q&As, James has said that the magic between Spike and Drusilla was due to things that you couldn't see you doing.
That might be an inappropriate question.
Little teaser, could you tell me?
I think you'd have to ask James that. I don't really know what he's talking about, but we definitely had an amazing acting chemistry right from the get-go that was just super, super creative and fun. Literally from when James came in to audition, they paired me with the 5 final choices of Spike, and the minute James walked in, it was like Spike and Drew really came alive. So I don't know, he can elaborate on the sort of innuendo that I'm not sure about.
Yeah, I do remember there was a few times when we could not believe innuendo is that's the thing. We didn't actually do that. We were acting. I think that made that clear. So that we were implying that was something might be going on underneath the shot, right? And I remember coming in a few Wednesday mornings and going, "Holy crap, I used that shot." Because we were hired to be punk rockers.
Sort of sexual. It was always sort of like we were the pre or middle during like a lot of our scenes. So
we were both subversive artists, and to some extent still are. And Joss hired 2 subversive artists to play 2 punk rock vampires, and we decided to kind of push the boundary a little bit and see if we could scare them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I would like to know, how do you feel knowing that you're immortalized as Forever Young in the DVD series, and that new generations like myself and my sisters are going to continue to watch your 35-year-old self and just be like, oh my god. So, how does that feel?
It feels absolutely awesome. I'm like the new Spock.
Okay, my question is also for James. Of all the costumes that you had to wear, what was your favorite?
Okay, you don't want to hear this, but my favorite costume was Piccolo in Dragon Ball. I looked awesome.
This one's for Juliet. Not a question at first so much as a quote. I do not know who set the course, the latitude I would steer. I do not care how long it took, with how much pain and how much fear. I only know I needed come to stand before you and say, remember me, for I am here. When you first received Drusilla's roses, what happened? Because I don't know.
James wrote a number of books about Drusilla, and I responded to them because he just really captured Drew's voice, and he's an incredibly talented writer. So basically, I read it, and then I sent you an email saying that I really enjoyed your work.
Okay.
And he's since written a book called Dear Miss Landau that just got published and was reviewed on the BBC and got the reviewers said it was the best book he's read in 10 years. And he's really a very, very gifted writer, and it's about his journey actually coming from Scotland to meet me, and it's really special.
Right, this question's for Amy. I was wondering, when you were cast as Beatrice and Alexis Bensaco's Benedict in Much Ado About Nothing, was it kind of Joss's way for apologizing a little for taking a wrecking ball of your characters as Angel?
I don't know that he actually made it a formal apology. But it definitely made him. Yeah, you know, there's definitely some West Fred love in there when we were doing it, so it's nice. I think you'll like it because Alexis is amazing at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. I don't want to overstate this at all, but in some ways, and I thought your comment about Spock was kind of accurate. Buffy did for gender what Star Trek did for race, you know, in a sense. And I was just wondering what the most, I guess, rewarding thing, either during or after production, was for you for being a part of Buffy.
good question.
Aside from money.
My favorite moment was talking to this actor who is world famous, and I probably shouldn't even tell you who it is, but a guy that I respect a lot. We were getting driven to a convention. He was explaining to me why Buffy was stupid, because a girl that size could never fight all of the people that she fights on the show. And I got to tell him, dude, I fight the stunt doubles for Buffy who are that size. And they are triple black belts, and they could kill both of us. Being part of a show that back when it was, when it was beginning, to have a young woman that could solve her own problems without the help of other people, and were in fact solving other people's problems, and the fact that at that time that was subversive, and now it's kind of normal. It felt really good to be in the beginning of that, or in one of the things that began.
So Alana's out of all of you right now. Which couple had the best chemistry?
Oh, me and Juliet Lando. And me and Amy Acker as well. I was only included in the show because we had a good audition together, because we both came from theater, and we are, I don't know, on my part it's probably stupidity, on her part it's bravery, but she's fearless. And it's one of those things that clicked really fast, and if it hadn't, I would have, I don't know where I'd be right now. Yeah.
Okay. My question is for anybody who chooses to answer. Does anybody remember a funny prank or a funny moment on the set that happened while you were filming?
That's a good question. And that's the answer to your question. No, seriously. We didn't play any pranks. There was no time.
I can't remember one.
Yeah.
It's television. You got 8 days to shoot this episode. It's
Yeah,
great
there's so
prank.
much.
There was pretty funny,
Yeah.
but it was more just, Andy Collins.
Oh,
yeah. So it was more just like, there were several days where we got in trouble from multiple people because we could not stop laughing at Andy.
It was more of a normal TV show because it only went 12 hours a day. That's a short day. But Buffy was known as Buffy the Weekend Slave. We would go 14, 16, 20 hours a day.
And we'd start early in the week on Monday and then be nights by the end of the week, so your system was really weird. Like you'd be getting up at the time you'd be going to sleep. And,
yeah. So there was anybody that tried to prank was just like, don't do that. You don't. We're very tired right now. Thank you guys.
I was just wondering which of you is the most like your character in Buffy off
Camden could not be more different. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Hello, the cast. I want to find out about a couple of years ago. I said the movie, the original Buffy, the movie, and I want to find out what between the movie and the TV series for the original movie.
You mean what happened between?
No, I'm talking about what's, the difference between.
Well, what I know is that what Joss told me when I actually was signed on to do it and was at my first wardrobe fitting, I think, he said to me, I said, I haven't seen the movie yet, and he said, don't. And I said, no, I really want to see it. He said, no, the whole reason I'm doing this series is this was my baby, and they did something, but that wasn't what I wanted to do with it, and this is what I really want to do with it. So he really had a very different take on the movie than obviously what he did with the series.
Luke Perry, all that.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good actors in that movie, but the direction was toward camp.
More spoofy.
Which is kind of like, we know this is dumb, and that's, sometimes camp works, but with Joss, he knew this, and we all found out that the drier you play it and the more realistic you feel about it, the funnier it gets.
Okay.
So yeah, we weren't allowed to even really talk about the movie. But I mean, like, we've got Rutger Hauer Hauer was in that film?
Yeah.
I was actually pulling from Rutger Hauer for Spike, you know, from Blade Runner. Yeah, Hilary Swank.
And you, Hobby, too.
I know.
She's awesome.
I know.
The 60s Batman and the Dark Knight.
I know. Ben Affleck, too.
Yeah.
Hi.
Basketball player number 2.
Here's your question.
Love to all.
Death scene.
I have a question for James and Juliet. True Blood, Vampire Diaries, Twilight. What's your take on how vampires are depicted today?
Every generation has its own.
Vampires, you can take them 1,000 different directions. I mean, we were far from Bela Lugosi when we did our version, and I imagine there'll be stuff that comes after. Like somebody will be asking the Twilight people, you know, in a few years, like these new weird vampires, they don't work as well as yours, and they'll be like, yeah, you're right, and so we'll say, yeah, ours is the best.
We have time for your last two. This question is for Amber. With Supernatural being in Purgatory this season, where this is where all the dead monsters go, any chance we might see Lenore?
Woo! I don't know. I'd like to go back. Those guys are really cute. You can lug me around all they want. I don't know. I would love to go back. It's a great set, and those, like I said, those guys are lovely, really, really nice, not just looking. So I would love to go back. It was a really good experience for me.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say to all of you that I love you all. You guys are all amazing, especially Juliet Landau. You made my weekend. This one specifically for Doug, and it's really more about Hellboy. I'm trying to tie it in. I'm sorry, everybody. Yes. You have humans and non-humans working together to try to fight, demon threats. And I remember in the Hellboy comics, they kind of glossed over Hellboy's reasoning for fighting forces from hell. And I was wondering, on your take on Abe Sapien, what was his motivation to work with Hellboy and the organization and all of that?
It's really Guillermo del Toro's take on all of it. He likes to work monsters into stories as with human conditions and human problems and issues to work out. Being that we all have a monster inside of us that needs taming or needs comforting or something. That's why his Hellboy character is this one who wants to fit into society around us. And I think that's why it has such a loyal fan base, much like Buffy did. I think the monsters you're seeing here also had such human issues that you all could relate to, and I think it's the relatability that keeps us coming back for more, isn't it? So I think that's our answer. Thank you.